Hi there, and welcome to this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. My name is Dave Dubeau, and I'm your host. And as you can see, the background's a little bit different. We're doing this on the webcam for the next couple of weeks just to get them out and going quickly for you. So what do we got going on for you today? First of all, Happy Remembrance Day. Happy Remembrance Day today. It is Monday, November the 11th, Remembrance Day. Hope you're enjoying your long weekend. And more importantly, I hope you're keeping in mind the purpose of this holiday weekend. Now, myself, I didn't have any direct connection with World War II. So, in other words, my father was too young to be a soldier in the war, and both of my grandfathers were too old to be soldiers in the war. I didn't have any uncles that went. Actually, no, I take that back. I did have one uncle that was in the Air Force, but he got in at the very tail end of the war. But it has definitely affected all of us, and a lot of our family history. Growing up around Fort St. John, the Alaska Highway, which was built right in the midst of the war, was a huge pivotal point for a lot of people. So the war indirectly played a big role in my upbringing because it was such a direct impact on my parents and on my grandparents. Going through rationing, helping with the war effort, having friends and distant family members going to war, losing loved ones in the war, people that they knew. So this is a really good time for us to reflect back and just remember to be so grateful for all the freedoms that we have, which are thanks to all of our vets that contributed in the different wars that we've been part of. So big call out to all of the vets out there. All right, what's going on today? So we've got my second lesson of my top 20 lessons after 20 years of being in business for myself. We've got a quick tax lien, tax deed tip from Mr. Ted Thomas, so stay tuned. All right, well, welcome back. So for my second of my top 20 tips after 20 years of being in business for myself, you can see why I've got all these gray hairs. That's part of the reason. Marriage might be another part of it. Kids might be another part of it. Lots of reasons for that. Heritage, inheritance. But big lesson. One of the big lessons that I learned a long time ago is you can start off with a really good plan, but just keep in mind that, well, personally, I've never seen plans go 100% according to plan. Start with a plan, but be very, very confident that chances are it's going to change. It's going to morph over time. So lots and lots of different examples of that in my own life. My first business in Costa Rica, went down there with the idea of sending Costa Ricans to Canada to learn English as a second language. Not a bad idea, except where I was sending them was Fort St. John, British Columbia, way up in northeastern BC. Lovely place, except that I was sent my first batch of students there in January. So this poor little Costa Rican lady got off the plane and it was minus 32 degrees Celsius. She's coming from Costa Rica. She's never seen snow in her life before. Bang, that's the first thing she gets a face full as soon as she got off the plane. So you can probably see where that business went. It did not go very, very far. I think I ended up sending a grand total of 5 or 6 people altogether to Fort St. John to learn English. But that business eventually, actually quite quickly, morphed or changed into my language training company out down there, where we actually gave English classes to corporations on site to train their employees in how to speak English. So I started off with the idea of English training, sending people away from Costa Rica to Canada to learn English. Ended up changing the business, still was around English training, but it was me helping people in Costa Rica to do it. So big change in that business. More recently, when I first connected with Darren Weeks and Fast Track, it was actually through me becoming one of the first people that got on board with Darren's doorknob ads. I think I was the third or the fourth person that came on board with that. Started working with him on that, and that eventually morphed into me, being very, very persistent about my opinions about how he should be doing his marketing. So to shut me up, he gave me a shot. It actually worked out, and that turned into working together, starting the Fast Track Inner Circle, which has now become Canadian Profits. It all started with the idea of doing advertising, right? Completely morphed out of that. So if there's one thing I've learned is you can start with the greatest of plans, but be flexible because chances are they're going to change, they're going to morph over time. All right, and now I'd like you to take a quick look at a tip from none other than Mr. Ted Thomas about Canadians doing tax liens and tax deeds in the United States. Hi there, everybody. This is Dave Dubeau with Canadian Profits, and I'm here with my good friend Ted Thomas. And if you don't know about Ted, Ted is the world's leading expert on tax liens and tax deed certificates in the United States. How are you doing, Ted?
I'm great, thank you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
So Ted, what's the difference between a tax lien and a tax deed? What's the difference?
Okay, well, there's quite a bit of difference. When you buy a tax lien certificate, it's a piece of paper that you can earn money with. So it's an interest-bearing certificate. Okay, a tax deed means you're actually going to get the ownership of the property. So in the United States, if you thought about the United States, just divide it in half. About half of the states will sell tax deeds. In other words, you get the property. The other half of the states will sell these certificates. So you can do, there's really two businesses in one. And so the entrepreneurial kind of people, they just love to buy tax deeds because they get property. But the people that really want interest rates, sometimes a little older, maybe have some gray hair, they want to just buy certificates where they earn 16, 18, 20%.
So the certificates are more like for cash flow.
Right,
You want to be getting interest on your money. The deeds are if you want to actually hopefully get the property.
Well, you will get the property. If you get the deed, you're going to get the property. Yeah, you have the deed to the property. Deed is just a transfer device between two individuals or two companies or whatever, and you'll get the property. And the beauty of getting the property is you get it, starting bid is the back taxes. That's the big appeal.
So that's what you're talking about, the pennies on the dollar, basically.
Exactly. So the people that go there, what they're looking for, when they have a list of these properties that are available, so let's take a place like Houston, just to use an example. Yep. In Houston, every month, they'll have approximately 200 of these properties that they're just going to auction off, and the starting bid is the back taxes. Now, Houston is just one county, and there's 3,200 counties. It's massive business, massive. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so if you'd like to find out more about how to invest in tax liens and tax deed certificates in the U.S. with Ted Thomas, we're actually doing a no-cost web class on this on Tuesday, November the 26th, starting at 6 p.m. What's the title of your talk, Ted?
Well, most people like to call it How to Make Money with Tax Lien Certificates and Tax Deeds. So that's probably the simplest thing you could do.
That's a very good title for it. All right. Thanks a lot, Ted.
Sure. Glad to be here.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. What do we got on the go for you? Well, first of all, I'm going to show you a quick preview of what our Canadian Real Estate Profits Gold members are getting this month in their monthly newsletter and audio CD success interview, and how if you're not a gold member, you can become one very, very quickly. So watch for that. Also, I'm very excited, we've got the first ever Rent Home Profits Blueprint Workshop going on this weekend, November 16th and 17th in Calgary. If you're in Southern Alberta, or if you're really keen on rent-owned real estate investing, check it out at r2oprofitsblueprint.com. Seats are quickly filling up, but we still do have some spaces left, so you can register for this no-cost two-day event at r2oprofitsblueprint.com. And speaking of Mr. Ted Thomas, I'm very pleased that we're going to be doing a webinar together on Tuesday, November the 26th, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific. You can register for that no-cost web class at CanadianProfitsWebinar.com. If you're not able to be on the live webinar, go ahead and register anyhow, and that way I'll let you know if we've got an encore presentation or if we're able to do a replay. So go ahead, register, CanadianProfitsWebinar.com. All right, check out this preview of what's going on with Canadian Real Estate Profits. Check it out. All right, here we are, and what we're doing now is we're actually doing something a little bit different. We're giving you a sneak peek preview of what's going on with Canadian Real Estate Profits for our monthly membership. So for our Canadian Real Estate Profits monthly gold members, they get a 20-page newsletter every month with over a dozen of Canada's leading real estate experts. So this is all Canadian information designed for Canadian real estate experts. And so we've got a monthly newsletter and also a monthly audio CD success interview that's part of that. So if you're not currently a member, we're giving you a way to have a quick, what we call a sneak peek of what this is all about. So This is, if you click on this, you go to CanadianProfitsMembers.com and you can get the sneak peek. And the first thing you can see is, excuse me, a sneak peek of the newsletter. So if you click on it, it brings it up bigger. If you click on this, it increases the size even more so you can read up on the front page what's going on with Canadian Profits. You can flip the page here and again go over here, finish reading that article. There's some links there that you can click on. Upcoming Canadian Profits events and activities. So again, R2L Profits Blueprint, you can find out about that. Web training, how Canadians are cashing in on U.S. real estate for just pennies on the dollar. You can click on that as well. The webinar that's coming up for our Creative Profits Club members over there. And then what's going on this month in the newsletter. So we've got all of our expert contributing writers. Excuse me. So for example, we've got Barry McGuire here with his article, Realty Legalities. So I give you a quick little snippet of what their article's about. Joanne Beaton, myself, Russell Westcott, Stefan Arnio, Ken Beaton, Paul Hetch, July Ono, Sean Matthew Frederick, Paul Blackiere, Mark Loeffler, and Andrew Barber Starkey, to give you an idea there. So each one a little quick snippet about what their article's about this month, and then our back page as well. So that's, you can take a quick look at the newsletter for a preview. It's not the full newsletter, obviously, but it is a good preview. And then we give you a taste of what the monthly Audio CD Success interview is all about. This is not obviously the full interview, but it gives you a taste of it, so you can listen in on that. And then if you decide that this is something that you want to be a member of, that's great. We've got 3 different options on how you can become a member. You can take a trial. You can take a trial, 2-issue trial of the program, and get either my Creative Real Estate Investing for Canadians book for free, my Rent to Own Profits for Canadians book for free, or a special package of the last 3 issues of Canadian Real Estate Profits and the last 3 audio CDs in digital format for free with a test drive as well. So you can click on one of those depending on what you like best to get signed up for a trial of Canadian Real Estate Profits. So that's what that's all about. And I highly encourage you to take a trial, a test drive of the program if you're not currently a member. Take care.